It would be under corporate law. So technically, by by paying your license, you're actually paying for a membership because it's tentacled out into states to be licensed. That's how they've tracked it. It's crazy, man. And it's been operating for over a century. This isn't. I mean, and it's all like so. There is so like.
When did you realize this?
I mean, I've been piecing it together for the last 7 to 8 years, and I just keep collecting and collecting. For the last 2 months, I'm bringing the data out. And then for like a year or two, I strategized like, how the fuck do you even bring this data out? Because as soon as you bring it out, it's gonna get pushed down. Because it's just the natural process of the system.
Anytime anybody pushes this data out, they're called crazy.
Exactly. So I'm kind of taking like I'm writing the trauma that was done to us, as well, because they made politics a comedy show to push people away. And thinking, so they've made the real unreal, and they've made the unreal real. So we think space is real because it's bombarded to us through Hollywood and visual images. And then they make politics unreal, like the fact that we actually do live there. And then everyone, I'm not into politics. Who wants to be a politician? That's no way, right?
Talk to me about your campaign.
Yeah, I mean, the campaign is really it's really spiritual awareness, because politics they make it up as they go along. There's literally no laws. Literally. They make it up that's why fucking that pedophile guy pops in, then he dies, then nothing happens, then nobody cares. Like, they're just using characters because they make it up as they go along, because they have technology that that can basically measure the people's emotions through the language of the way they talk online. So the reason I disappeared is my language isn't on the internet. I haven't, like, by talking, you tell the AI what you're thinking. And see, like, that's why I'm coming in now, because 5G is now putting AI into a three-dimensional space, which is then literally they'll be able to read your fucking thought. And that's why I'm coming in just before they try and bring that in order to try and stop it, so that we can, because literally, like, they make it up as they go along. So like, the laws only get created.
You keep saying they, Drew. Who's they?
It's really us in the past. It's us in the past who launched an idea on ourselves, because they didn't understand that we were all one species here, okay? They're just trying to figure things out themselves. So they get a hold of a secret. They want to keep it to themselves. Well, life is going to keep spawning. What do? Well, let's just herd these people over here and not tell them. Okay. Well, then now we're fucking 100 years later. Like, those people that were over there have like 5 generations of kids. And now it's getting so out of control. Like, it's essentially like a lot of them are dead and gone, and it's just the system is just literally just running. And it's to the point where it's just going to keep running as a computer, and it's not even human. So I feel like my purpose is to humanize the digital space, to get us to slow down, stop pressing the buttons. We're pressing the buttons because we forgot that we used to do that in the womb. I mean, I've been into and I've always been a presenter. So, like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm discovering all this stuff, but I'm like, am I supposed to just keep this to myself? I'm like, and just disappear into the jungle and be fine with my life? I was like, why would I have all these tech skills as a 14-year-old and then literally be in a tech environment? And now, what do I do with these skills? Like,
Why haven't you like came out to like the tech mecca like in California or and I mean
I realized like there's no need to be anywhere specific because I don't need to be taught. Like I had the skill I had all the skills already. I've had the skills for like 7, 8, 9 years. Like it's not like I've been learning this stuff. I've been waiting in order to bring out the performance of it more so than because I'm not trying to like sell anything. Like I'm just really trying to make people aware of the memory that they hold within themselves. Because the space outside of us is really an illusion of time.
right.
And like, but you can't just like come out with people. So you gotta like, I'm basically like gonna do it through SNL. That's why the Truman Show thing is a perfect bridge to it all. And putting myself on 24/7 hour. I mean, honestly, we have to start documenting what AI is actually doing here because it's out of control. Especially with the delivery apps. People are getting food, they don't even know how they're getting the food. All these like people are sitting at their office, they're getting food delivered, right? The food is what keeps the matrix alive.
Okay, so I don't get what you're saying. Like, if they order the food from Joe's Pizzeria, they know it's coming from Joe's Pizzeria.
Yeah, well, how are they getting the food now? Well, it's coming from DoorDash and Uber Eats now, like...
Correct.
And who are these people? Well, I mean, most of the people are minorities that literally can't even speak English. They just clicked a button and signed up because they have nothing to do. And then literally it's...
That's dangerous?
Extremely dangerous because it literally is an AI. For 3 years, I worked for AI. And I've watched this accidental situation happen. And it's not an accident.
You still work for AI?
I mean, yeah, I work for the apps. There's no boss. Like, I've never had a human ever call me. It's literally AI. And it's literally going to just continue happening. And the politicians are just going to be images on a screen. They're not even going to be a human being. And we're going to keep going to a fucking place and pressing a button on a computer, and the button isn't going to mean jack shit. Because we have no way to regulate what the fuck even the button means. The vote itself never did mean anything. Because the United States of America doesn't mean anything. That's why they say, United States of America. They say it over and over again to just like we just think it's normal. Like that itself is legally unconstitutional. And like I'm sacrificing that's why I've been so quiet for so long, because I was like, when I start talking, I never want to stop, and I want to have a structure in place that's like actually validating the info, because I don't want this ever to go back under a rug, because this is insane. I mean, the Washington Capitals team, NHL team, the team name is all lowercase capitals on purpose because it's a fucking joke, because they're making fun of us. Because it's all capitals on our license, and that's why it doesn't mean anything, because it's all capitals. They changed it back in 1878. The 14th Amendment is a huge fucking scam. It's a hybrid constitution that we're operating under. And literally, and now I run for president because they locked themselves in a situation that I am very aware of, because I have the skills to reach you, like without them in between, because I technologically know how to get it to you. And because I actually have like a track record going back 15, 20 years in the public database, people won't question whether or not I'm human. Like, the next politician that comes next, like, I mean, how are we going to even know if they're a human being or not, honestly?
When does your campaign start for the presidency?
It's already started. I announced it a week before the election even happened. because the whole point of the campaign is the fact that the vote doesn't matter. See, we make the vote, and then they want us to go back to sleep and think, oh, we don't have another choice for 4 years. There's nothing we can do. That's been the whole social engineering that's been going on. But really, we create in the infinity vortex every moment. Like nothing is ever stuck ever in place other than if we believe it to be so. And that's how consciousness works. So I went into being a yoga teacher because it was like a professional cover for what we all do here anyway. So I was like, well, I'll just tag on yoga teacher because people will just accept that you can talk spiritually. But then I started merging my gangster Detroit character with my hockey lingo and with the yoga language. And I'm now and then I'm also a cryptocurrency blockchain tech talker. And I also want to Alex Jones people, but in a good way. And then SNL the world at the same time, because we're more conditioned to believe comedy than the real thing. Because literally we're fucking live in a dome. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man. Think if you really look at the language, the sea level, everything about it, we've been fighting these countries for 60 years, but since 1960 in Antarctica, everything's fine. It's because Antarctica doesn't even exist. It's just the entire outer rim, right? The North Pole's in the center, and the sun goes around the center. And then we've never had a videotape of the South Pole, the sun going around, just like it does in Alaska. There's so many obvious things. That's why they're pushing they have to push it into the tech. Because they have to keep our reality there because it's what they control. Space, because, there's no satellites, real satellites of pictures. They don't exist because it doesn't even exist. It's just a story that is told.
Do you ever think about taking a trip to the South Pole or the North Pole?
Well, good luck getting out through the border now.
Oh, well.
You can't go near this Antarctica militarily wise. That's why I realized years ago my only angle in was to gather the people, wake them up, and then lead the charge into the White House, because literally we don't have to wait 4 years. We could do it next year if we all just stand outside the White House. And we'll make them give the keys over to us. Because literally their power only is created based on our attention to them. So they're going to keep coming out.
Are you scared that if you push the envelope too much that they could try to shut you down?
Well, no, they're trapped now. I'm a serious public figure. If they ever respond to me, it validates my position. And then if they don't respond to me, it actually validates my position more, because we all know this shit's going on. And the more they try and do the stupid COVID fucking shit, people's grandparents are getting stuck. You don't think kids feel that on an energetic subconscious level? That's the science I'm into. And that's why they're sticking the older people, because they'll get stuck first.
What do you mean sticking?
The fucking vaccine. That's a genetic mutation. It has nothing to do with helping anybody.
Talk to me about the genetic mutation.
Essentially, we're all just we're a genetically mutated species here because of epigenetics. We've mutated based on environmental causes over the last 100 to 150 years, basically. And over the last 40 years, it's been gotten really bad because of all the airborne particles. Now, do I think this is a bad thing? No, I think this whole life is an experiment anyway. Death is a joke anyway. So I'm not. The immune system is the immune system. It can be like we were conceived to be immortal. We weren't born to be immortal because death began in the womb. And the reason why our birthday is at 0 is because we're in a death program here. We're not in a life program. So it takes little individual nodes like people just discovering life themselves to awaken it to the world around them in order to change what's happening. And like if you weren't interested in asking me questions, I wouldn't be in here speaking. So it's not me sharing knowledge with you right now. You're sharing knowledge with me equally because your well of it is the same. And so I never really understood why I was teaching yoga, but I knew it was always practice to enter the screen world. Because I knew once I go into the screen world, I never come out. And like essentially my immediate family pushed me into the screen world because they're lost in there.
Would you say your relationship with your family is pretty bad?
Extremely bad.
Where do they live now?
I mean, it's only bad because there's technology between us. And that's the way it was when I was a kid, though. But we didn't understand back then, right?
Do they invite you for the holidays, or?
I mean, it's not even like the holidays. Like, right? Christmas is just a mockery of the fact that we're not conscious. Like Christmas, the tree. We are the tree of earth. Like, we are all the lights around the tree. No, it's actually, they're the lights in the tree. We are the presence under the tree, the material presence. Contributing, we're the elves, in a way. So all those movies, and then all these people are taking pictures of their kids, putting it on standing in front of the tree. People don't even know what we're doing. And then these holidays, like, we don't even know what we're celebrating. I mean, that's the schedule is what keeps the death going, because all we are is an infinite sun going around above our head. The only day that really exists is one. It's just one day that's always repeated over and over again.
There's Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, like literally. It's just one day. You know, the date, like the calendars, the years. This is like what puts us into these perceptual awarenesses. But because at a biological level, time is like a quantum particle, which means it could be a wave or it could be a particle. It's our consciousness to it that creates what it is. And it's the food that keeps it stuck in place. If you fast for a week, I mean, you would just like really look at the world differently. Like even just 1 week. So like there's so many dynamics because like we want to belong to each other. So if someone next to you is eating, it's almost like, oh well, if you don't eat, you're not a part of the group. So like, and now everything's like pushed into a digital space, but a lot of the spaces are central servers, which people don't even know what they're doing on these central servers. So the blockchain section of my platform is to educate people about technology, because nobody, like the state's not doing it. The state's allowing these companies to literally do whatever they want, but it was designed that way. It's not like, oh, they don't know. They know.
They kind of own the state owns the companies. I
mean, essentially, IBM, Google was started by the CIA. It was actually all the big tech companies were started with taxpayers' dollars.
What do you think about, like, Bill Gates behind the vaccine?
Oh, like biggest scam ever. I mean, the guy's just he has no real power. He's just a face for the people. Like, he's not a billionaire. He's just like, he was just an actor in the play. Like, there's no way that the system allows one person to have any type of control over it. Because if there's ever a mistake that could be made, I mean, that would be catastrophic to the system. Like Trump's not coming out there, all that shit that he's doing, that's not random. Like, he's not just thinking off the top of his head. That's like scripted 25 times and then he goes out.
Well, like what stuff?
Oh, like he like waving his arms and like getting all like animated. He's riling up like the emotions in a way for the people watching, so that they can keep pushing the stress points in the direction that they want it to go, because it's all done through suggestive programming, because we have to allow something to happen for it to happen. Like, nothing can ever be forced on anyone, period. That's like the laws of metaphysics. Like, someone has to be open to receive something. So we're literally been herded for over 100 years into this certain situation because it's slowly been done under the surface. And because I was so into Hollywood and studying films, I saw their playbook, because they literally have to tell you. They have to tell us. So people just go watch a movie. Great movie. They go about their lives. Me, I was like, oh, fuck it. Let's watch that again. Ooh, let's watch this angle. Then I was like, I started noticing shit. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I was like, it was so obvious. Then COVID happened. Then I'm like, oh my God, it's like the movies come alive. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, okay, I gotta now like shape up, Drew, and get online now. Because this is fucked. Like, I can't even function in the world because of what I know.
Alright, let's...
Because technically, fucking, U.S. is the last domino to fall. Like, if U.S. falls, we're fucked. Like, the whole world's fucked. The whole world's trapped if U.S. falls. Canada already fell. U.S. is last one to go. I feel like I'm fucking last one holding the fort down here. And it's all blockchain. Dude, the fucking... The Space Force flag is an Ethereum emblem, which is a Russian cryptocurrency. And it's Space Force. Fucking outer space doesn't even exist. That's how they're tagging people with the vaccines. I knew that too. I knew that a year ago.
What do you mean tagging? Wait, hold on. Tagging people with the vaccines. What do you mean?
Yeah, like Bill Gates is involved with the tagging with the vaccines. With IBM, IBM's involved with the cryptocurrency Ether and XLM, which is stellar lumens, which have subliminal messaging in some Hollywood films going back to even 2005 to 2010. So there's certain cryptocurrencies that are top right now that go back to subliminal messaging in Hollywood back in 2010. So it's almost like they're doing the same thing. All these blockchains, they look like they're separate entities, just like Google, IBM, and Microsoft were all separate entities, but they're really controlled behind the curtain by the same people. That's why part of my campaign is the fact that I'm gathering a real group of humans that don't know, that are real humans. And then we create our own blockchain together, because they're going to push the blockchain onto us. But then that's how they track every single payment that we ever make. And that's how they take our taxes without us even being able to give it to them first. And the fact that there even is taxes is fucking constitutionally illegal from the beginning. Like, taxes. Like, oh, we get up, they get up, like, they're going back and forth, taxes. Like, the fact that there even is a tax is fucking the scam.
Right, but, all right, Drew, I gotta contradict this a little bit. I mean, what about all the stuff that you live in a city, right? They gotta clean the streets, they gotta pave the roads, who pays for all that?
I mean, why were the roads created in the first place? Let's go back to the 50s and really look at that. Why? There were lots of other ways to travel.
What do you mean, Sam? We should just have horses?
No, there's there's hovercrafts. Hovercrafts could have been created. They could have been created 20 years ago. Yet we're still laying down asphalt. There's a dynamic, and if it's
just another way for them to keep the tax going.
Exactly. Exactly. And then they just keep taking it off the top and off the top. So basically the 24-hour broadcast, essentially I've been able to tap into an intelligence within myself that I'm just a channel here. It's not like I have an agenda other than transparency. So that's one reason why them kind of subconsciously giving me a way to record, to do the 24/7 thing, I have to take it because I take the 24/7 whole theme into the political space, which is exactly what they don't want, because they don't want, they're hiding from consciousness, right? They're tricking us with consciousness instead of giving us the consciousness back. So there's so many dynamics, but like you can't just come at someone with something because they believe what they believe, and if you tell them that it's not true, they'll never, it's not like, so I just reach people with mystery and poetry and just entertainment. I play their game with them and then have fun myself. Because I really don't feel like there's even an evil presence here. I don't think this is about evil, a good or bad. I'm so connected to the wholeness perspective that the whole good and bad is a joke. Like, who cares? Like, I like being bad. That's why I like the Detroit gangster vibe, because that's politics. Politics is friggin', that is what it is. Like, that's why I'm going for the top.
Interesting, man. Dude, that was a good session, man. You really hit it hard. That was great.
It's hard not to just talk about this stuff because I'm at a place where I can be open about it, and I know we're not, this is just going on the shelf for now, which could be used later. It's not like, I don't feel like I have to cover myself talking right now.
What's crazy is I wonder if, does that even, would you even clean that up if you edit that, or what would you do?
Well, see, that's the thing. Who's going to fucking listen to an hour of rambling like that? It has to be cleaned up and presented in a way that, like, someone can absorb it common sensely. So that's what the platform is. Like, essentially, everything's going to be in one place where someone can piece it together. Like, if they relate more to hockey, then, like, listen to the hockey stories. If you relate more with technology, listen to the blockchain. If you relate more, you like listening to your political characters, let me pick apart what they're saying. If you like hearing about these TED Talks, listen to my color commentary. So there's going to be several different expressions to basically the same answer, which is you yourself are creating your reality, not anybody else. And like, if the more we give the power to the politicians, the more they can do whatever they want to do. So essentially, my political campaign is about, hey, you're the power, and my only task is to show you that I'm you, and that you vote for me because these are my skills. And I'm able to share a collective voice and channel a collective voice because I've accepted that I am you. Like, I am you. And if I didn't have a family that was deep in the system, I wouldn't know how to articulate it this way. Because I have to I'm reaching them, essentially, with my campaign more than anything. My own family. And my mom's like a system worker, so it's like I'm excited, about, because the whole cryptocurrency thing, we're literally infiltrated, like, by a different, we're totally infiltrated. We're not even a country here, man. Like that fucking flag, it's a Russian flag. Russian, like the Russians are controlling our fucking, the Russians control Washington. Literally, dude. Like that, like seriously. Like this is a fucking, like we're in a serious revolution. Like, and without, and I don't, I know I can be blunt with you, but I would never be blunt publicly like this. But like the next few videos you see, I'm releasing my launch videos here, and then I'm gonna catch everybody up to my Instagram feed in the next few days to launch those videos, so I can bring people up to where I'm at the timeline current. But I talk about the forefathers, Jefferson. I talk about 1878. That was the big swap. You know, in the Instagram feeds. You know, because the people need some type of release valve. If I don't give it to them, who will? I mean, I realize now's the time because we're literally surrounded by the ease of the creative performance, and this is my greatest art, is being like, and I'm gonna literally give speeches as a president, like with like people in the background. I'll have a suit on. I'll be more presidential and more entertaining than all those, you know, and because we're conditioned to believe celebrities more than the president. So like that's a little bit of been my campaign strategy without, it's like more of a subconscious strategy. It's not like I tell anybody what my strategy is.
You want to hear something funny? I just was looking on Instagram. I know you have it. Some girl wrote, she put her location Antarctica, and she wrote, a woman with the weight of the world on her shoulders, 2021, the next revolution. So funny you just said about Antarctica.
And it's always, see, there's so many trolls on there though, because they want, the next revolution, the next thing, that's part of consciousness. They're actually driving you away from consciousness, which is here right now with us. It's not the next thing. That's the funniest part, because once I've uncovered that, I'm like, and then all these people are just really just contributing. They think that they're awakening people, but they're really just keeping the reality of the chase alive. Because the chase is in the food. And there's also deeper subjects I haven't brought up yet that would make it even more obvious, but I mean, I don't even want to bring it up right now.
Interesting. All right, brother. Well, listen, it's probably, dude, it's late by you. Damn. What time is it by you? 3?
I mean, I don't have a time. Like, that's why I'm 24/7 broadcasting my life, because essentially I will be the humanity voice. Like, there's no time for me.
What are you going to do? I mean, how many hours a night do you sleep?
I mean, there's some nights I don't even sleep. I mean, I took like a 4-hour nap today. I mean, I'm probably gonna. I have no idea. Like, I'm a fool to think I'm ever gonna know what to do. Like, I keep, I really keep. I mean, obviously, I have to have certain, but I don't have a girlfriend. I mean, I have no attachments, literally. But the reason why I position myself this way is because I wanted to be this voice, so that people can trust me as like their speaker. And like the way my trauma life has played out, like there's no other life to have other than this. And with the world the way it is, like my voice is extremely needed. Like literally, I'm gonna slap these politicians around like silly people, because they're not even politicians. They're fucking, half of them are friggin' not even human. Like, you go friggin' vote for someone. Did you ever vote? Did you ever know who was on your state ballot? No. You never did. That's the trickery they do. Like, everyone's focused on the president, but really the entire Congress are the board members that we voted. They're the board members of the company. They're, it's just but what they fear, their power can go poof in a second if the people wake up. And that's because I'm an athlete. Like, I'm just like them. So that was always my strategy, and like, And I always knew I had to start solo because I was literally going to put the gun right at the face of the system. And nobody's going to just... People got kids. They're not just going to jump on the bandwagon. They're going to like and subscribe without anybody knowing that they did. That's what they'll do. And then as my numbers grow, that gives me power because everyone's liking and subscribing, but they're behind the curtain doing it. They don't have to actually expose themselves that they're supporting me. And I know how to regulate it, and then eventually I take all that following into a decentralized situation, and then I start showing people how they control their own content. We get off the central servers, and then we get away from the eye. And then we take the whole, and then we start storming that castle. It's fake. It's a fucking movie studio, man. Like, the White House is a movie studio, Congress is a movie studio, NASA is a movie studio. It's a movie studio. So I'm basically creating a movie studio in my house and gonna have better tricks than them. That's the plan. That's the point. That's been the point of my plan. Is I'm gonna show people how I'm gonna put people kind of in between the curtain and the stage and show them, like, guys, I look better than them, guys. Like, come on, like, you know, stop looking over there. We just got to bring the attention here. Then they can't do anything anymore. And then we'll just watch them just sit there and not doing anything. And we'll just have fun for 4 years. And then we just walk in there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, but then hopefully they just hand it over because they're like, oh, fuck, you got us. You know? That's the kind of, because it's a big game here anyway. Like, it's not like, oh, Trump's bad, Biden's bad. Because my whole family fucking loves Biden, right? So, and I'm not looking to, like, put anybody under the bus. Like, so, like, yeah, don't worry about me and the time on anything. Like, I'm literally, like, I'll be 20, like, I'm hardcore serious about the 24-hour thing. And they fucking gave it to me. I have to take it.
For sure, dude. Travel.
Yeah, if you want to get back on Friday and Saturday, do another one of these, I'm in.
Okay, sounds good, dude. Let's just touch base over the weekend then.
Man, thanks a lot. Appreciate you, Joe.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too.